So J.C._Charles sent me a direct message to check out water contamination in Ann Arbor. Um, I have a lot of family in Michigan. I think everybody knows that. But basically, Michigan is like the water state. They pride themselves on their water. But unfortunately, we've heard about the whole Flint situation, which I'm going to be doing a podcast on. And it looks like I need to add this in there too. So you may need to go over to YouTube to see this full video because I haven't even began yet. So bear with me here. So apparently Ann Arbor has a underground water contamination. And I found this article named The History of Paul Gelman Dioxane Groundwater Contamination Cleanup. Dude. So it starts off by saying it could have been a quintessential success story about a young entrepreneur scientist starting a hobby in the basement of his home and within 20 years turning it into a multi-million-dollar international business. And that is the story of how a University of Michigan graduate named Charles Gelman in 1958 began working on a process to make microporous filters used to detect air and water pollution, among many other applications. He built his Gelman Sciences into one of the leading industries in Ann Arbor, Michigan. But over time, the glowing business narrative instead became a history forever tainted by a chemical called 1,4-dioxane, a probable carcinogen once used in Gelman's manufacturing process. Dioxane polluted soil and groundwater at the company's Skio Township plant, and it eventually spread into a large plume of underground contamination in northwest Ann Arbor. Dude, I had no freaking idea. My family's never told me any of this shit. Do they even know? No wonder we're all catching cancer and freaking dying, dude. Pollution problems at Gelman were first reported in 1968 and 69. Dude, that's 40 freaking years ago. Why? So I'm going to do clearly a podcast on this whole freaking situation. Thanks, JC. I really appreciate it. But I found a recent news article about the situation. Well, as recent as it could get. It's from May 31st, 2019. Headline: Ann Arbor considering worst case scenario for Gelman dioxane plume. So it's still a huge issue. So remember, this thing is underground. So this goes on to say a map of the Gelman dioxane plume spreading through the Ann Arbor area, moving east through the city's west side towards West Park, and branches off the Allen Creek drain system that discharge into the Huron River. Dude, it's never going to stop. It's never going to stop. And all of these little towns, and there's tons of them in these areas, are just, their water's shit. And don't get me started on the fact that the freaking Hershey Company is near Flint, not even 15 minutes, I believe, right up the road, and they pump their water from the bottles from an underground natural well, put it through a filtering system, and then hand those bottles out in Flint, instead of building a freaking pipeline to the damn city that needs the help. That's what I'm talking about. Do something about it instead of adding to the freaking problem, dude. Like, you own the well, You could do way more than giving them fucking bottles of water every day when they still got to wash their skin and their kids and shit with this tainted ass water, So anyway, I kind of got off topic. I apologize, but it pisses me off. Anyway, this freaking underground plume is spreading through Ann Arbor, and a major concern is that obviously it's going to contaminate the city's main drinking water supply sometime soon, I guess. City leaders are taking that threat seriously, and now they're working on a contingency plan for a potential worst-case scenario. I can't, y'all. I can't. And who is this dude that started all this? He has to feel like total shit, man. That's all I can say. I hope he didn't I don't know what happened to him. You know what I'm saying? Dude. The city expects the first phase of work to last 6 months within recommendations by the end of the year. Well, I'm going to leave it at that because clearly this whole situation needs like an hour-long podcast, more than a freaking couple of minute videos that I can put up about it. But I just wanted to let JC know that I am definitely going to be doing some more work on this subject. And I hope to bring it to light because it's amazing to me that none of this stuff, none of it, is ever reported. Maybe the dudes in Ann Arbor know about it, but maybe something could further be done if the entire world knew about it. You know, we're not perfect over here in America. We have issues too. All right. Well, that's it for this one. I'm going to link it at clearly all the social media outlets and at bizarrebus.com.